Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-Minute Histories videos. And today I'm downtown at the corner of Water Street and Commerce Street, and behind me is the offices of Maury, Donnelly, and Parr. They're about to celebrate their 150th anniversary. They're an insurance firm that got their start in Baltimore in 1875, and we thought we'd help them celebrate with this video. They are a great insurance company in a great historic building that insures other great historic buildings around the country in partnership with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And in full disclosure, they are our insurance company. They insure Baltimore Heritage. We're going to talk about them today. I'm thrilled. I'm going to be joined by Jocelyn from Maury, Donnelly, and Parr in a moment to show us some of the neat things inside the building. But before we go inside, let me say a word about insurance and a word about the 1904 fire, both of which are integral to Maury, Donnelly, and Parr's legacy. When we were preparing for this video, I thought to myself, how long have we human beings had insurance? And it turns out a long time, well before Hartford, Connecticut became known as an insurance hub, well before Lloyd's of London became a household name. Back around 1790 BC, in the first Babylonian Empire, the king then, Hammurabi, issued what was among the first, maybe the first written code of laws, and among them were provisions for filing claims for losses, insurance. Among them was one that if you borrowed money to outfit a ship and sell your goods across the sea, and the ship sank due to an act of God, the person you borrowed money from, your insurer, could only claim the principal, not the interest on the loan. Another one was that if you were an insurance agent filing a claim, you had to have receipts. Back in the first Babylonian Empire, no receipts, you didn't get your insurance money. Fast forward to medieval Europe, and by about 1200 in Italy, merchants had figured out a way to combine loans with separate insurance products. And by about 1300 in Flanders, they had an official insurance office called the Chamber of Assurance. And then, of course, after the Great Fire in London in the 1660s, the whole host of insurance companies sprang about, including Lloyd's of London, that insured things like the Titanic, maybe not so good for them, but the legs of Betty Grable and the superstar soccer player David Beckham, which I think is going well for them. The first insurance company in America came about in 1735 in Charleston, South Carolina. Our first insurance company in Baltimore, the oldest, is the Equitable Insurance Company. They're still around. And then in 1875, a gentleman named J. Cyprian Maury founded an insurance company here in Baltimore using his own name. Pretty quickly brought on a gentleman named William Donnelly. The firm became known as Maury and Donnelly. And like the ancient Babylonians and the ancient Italians and the folks in Flanders, they insured a lot of shipping interests, but they also insured a lot of businesses downtown. And that brings us to the 1904 fire. Of course, in February of 1904, we had a devastating fire that pretty much took out all of central downtown Baltimore. $150 million in losses, 35,000 people left out of work. Maury, Donnelly, and Parr paid out about $5 million in claims. The Baltimore Sun noted that they did so promptly, without hesitation. I think something they're still pretty proud of today. And one of the things they did, in addition to paying out insurance claims, is they were among the very first businesses to commit to coming back downtown, helping Baltimore rebuild after the fire. They bought this parcel behind me. Maybe a little bit ironically, it had been the United Fire Insurance Company building that burned like so many others in the fire. And they committed to building a fine building. Maybe not the biggest building downtown, but they were going to make sure that it was a really fine one. They hired an architecture firm named Tormey and Leach. If you've ever been up to Port Deposit and you know the Cecil National Bank, that fabulous little building, that's them, as well as St. Mary's Industrial School, where Babe Ruth learned to play baseball. So the Maury, Donnelly, and Parr building was not going to be the tallest downtown, but it was going to have a wonderful marble inside and nicely decorated, and it was going to be fireproof. In addition to the decorations, it also had a few novelties for back then. One was a shower in the bathroom. I think we might be able to see that in a moment, as well as a newfangled device called the Otis elevator. And even though it's only 2.5 stories tall, this was certainly a showpiece for this firm recommitting to be downtown. them. So Maury, Donnelly, and Parr got a new building, and we got the front wave of a city-shaping development. Our mayor at the time in 1904, 1905, Robert McLean, said, quote, "We shall make the fire of 1904 a landmark, not of decline, but of progress." And they were definitely part of that. Since 1904, this firm has been back to insuring Baltimore businesses, but really all sorts of things all over the country, including as the insurance partner with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, insuring a lot of historic buildings that are quirky and odd and maybe others wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Some of the notable ones that Maury, Donnelly, and Parr insure are George Washington's Mount Vernon, the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia, the longest running theater in the country, President Lincoln's Cottage, and then on a more modern note, the Pope Leahy House, that fantastic piece of modern architecture. But I'm going to stop there, and we're going to go inside, talk with Jocelyn, and see a few of the historic things on the inside of this building at Water and Commerce Streets. Let's go on inside.
Hi, my name's Jocelyn Bredholt. I'm the Director of Marketing here at MDP. We wanted to show you a few different things that are around the office. One first being the switchboard that we used to use to transfer calls throughout the office. Okay, we've moved over to one of our safes. We have 3 of these in the office, and this is actually what used to hold the cash that people brought in when they came to pay their insurance policy. Right now, it's more of supplies. I'm standing in our Otis birdcage style elevator, which we believe is the oldest, longest working in Baltimore City. We're standing next to an interesting early wraparound shower that I believe former employees used to take a shower after they, did physical activity during lunch. This is an old-fashioned pulley system that we still use today for the mail to get from the first floor to the second.